Good morning, all.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right then. So everything is set. So let's do a quick prayer. Master Jesus, my spiritual friends, another beautiful day is about to start. Be with us, giving us the good thoughts so we can try to learn better and we can try to explain better too. Hoping that those spirits you brought to assist us can also benefit from this humble study. Be with us today and always. So be it. Oh, let me share the screen with you all. Can you guys see the book?
Yes.
All right then. So we are continuing the chapter 29, and today is the 325 question. Frivolous meetings are composed of individuals who are only interested in entertainment aspects of the manifestation. I think it's fair to say that sometimes the person may have just curiosity and they want to see the phenomena or else. But sometimes the person comes to the meeting like that, and then as he or she sees how serious and important can be, start to migrate to something else. If someone is only coming for curiosity or to see the phenomena after a period of time, yes, it's not ideal. But sometimes the curiosity is the first step to bring us closer. These persons are amused by the joking remarks made by the frivolous spirits who attend such gatherings because they can enjoy free rein. That is specific to a meeting that has nothing to do with what we do here, right? So in those meetings, you really will not find anything that worth to watch, really. It is during these meetings that almost banal things are normally asked of the spirits. Predictions, concerns of the future, test of their astuteness, and guessing person's age, objects certain individuals have their pocket, to guess what the certain individuals have in their pocket, revelations of little secrets, and thousands of other things of such importance. So basically, I was even writing one thing a few minutes ago, and sometimes the person does or participate in this type of meetings without realizing the risks of such a thing, right? And I think I've spoken here before. You can buy games on the store to give to your kids, and they don't even know what is behind that, or if they know, it's very serious. But the people that are buying those things, sometimes they have no idea about the risks they can be dealing with, right? I'm not saying that what we do is risky. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that every time you're trying to do something without the minimum knowledge, you have a high degree of risk. And that is everything in life, not just spiritism, not just mediumship. That is everything in life. So if anybody wants to do something like that, it's highly recommended to have the minimum knowledge before they do. I'll give you an example, right? I bought, actually really bought, a Ouija. Is a table where we have letters where we can be flicking through the letters to write words and sentences. And then people started using it without the proper protection, if I may say like that. And the phenomena will happen anyway. If you have everything in line, the phenomena will happen. But the question is, who or which degree of spirits will be using that to write something for you? And if you're doing that in a place that has no protection at all, or as a game per se, you are inviting those spirits to be closer to you, to be in your place. Is that what you want? Because when they are there, they feel comfortable and they find what they like, it may be difficult to send them out, right? So we need to be careful. These meetings are of no consequence, but since frivolous spirits are sometimes quite intelligent and are generally good-humored and merry, interesting things sometimes occur, of which the observer may take advantage. However, persons who attended only these sections and judged the spirit world according to such samples would get an erroneous idea of it, like someone who judged the entire population of a large city by a few of its neighborhoods. Simple common sense tells us that highly evolved spirits would never participate in a meeting of this kind, where the participants are not any more serious than the manifesting entities. Those who want to concern themselves with meaningless matters will naturally evoke frivolous spirits. Just in a social gathering, they might call in comedians for entertainment. However, it would be sacrilege to invite venerable names, mixing the sacred with the profane. I don't see why to have people gathering around a table, per se, to have frivolous meetings. I don't. And if somebody decide to do that, and if we are aware, perhaps we should kindly point at some points to be observed before they hurt themselves. Experimental meetings are most concerned with the production of physical manifestations. But for many, they represent a show that is more curious than instructive. There are different types of experimental meetings. Okay? These experimental meetings he's talking here is about frivolous experimental meetings. People just want to hear the noises or see something, right? These believers leave then feeling more perplexed than convinced when they have not seen anything else, and they devote themselves to looking for possible artifices, because not understanding what they have seen, they naturally suppose that trickery was involved. Exactly the opposite happens with those who have studied the matter beforehand, however. I think that there never will be enough to reinforce the need for study. A simple comparison is that I have a need to go under surgery. Which doctor you prefer? The one that's always studying, getting acquainted with new technology, the new treatments, or you prefer one that as soon as I leave the university, never open a book again? Well, I prefer the first one, for sure, right? So it's the same. That's the same. They understand the possibility of the occurrences and the physical phenomena help to consolidate their convictions. On the other hand, if trickery is involved, they will know how to discover it. Despite the dangers of fraud, these types of expectations have had a usefulness that no one would deny, because they are what led in the first place to the discovery of the laws of the government of the invisible world. And for many, they are still a powerful means of conviction. And I'm inclined to say that even today, it can be useful, right? Nevertheless, we maintain that they are not sufficient for initiating anyone to the Spiritism science, any more than simply seeing an indigenous mechanism would provide any knowledge about mechanics for someone who is not familiar with its law. However, in such experiments where methodically and prudently performed, much better results would be obtained. We shall address this subject shortly. Instructive meetings are entirely different in character, and since they are the only ones where we can obtain real teachings, we shall particularly insist on the conditions under which they should be held. So he gave us initially the information about a meeting that we would not recommend because of its risks. And now he's bringing to us a meeting where we should be inclined to participate. The first condition is that seriousness must be obtained in every meaning of the word. All present must be convinced that the spirits whom they want to address belong to a very special order, that the sublime cannot be mixed with the banal, nor good mixed with evil, and that if they wish to obtain good results, they must address good spirits. Not that I am suggesting that we should be part of meetings or we should create meetings just to have our doubts or our questions answered, right? I truly believe that a mediumship meeting should be the meeting to support spirits that are in need. Eventually, yes, one question here, a question there, that's no problem. But that shouldn't be the reason for the meeting. However, it is not enough to merely evoke good spirits. A strict condition is that the participants must be surrounded by a favorable atmosphere. And we've spoken about already about what we should be doing, right? Our choices, how we behave. That's the only way that we can ensure that good spirits are around us. So that good spirits want to come. In other words, high order spirits do not participate in meetings of frivolous and superficial persons, just as they would not if they were incarnated. We need to think, and I like to do this exercise quite often because it does help us in our practices. We are spirits. We are incarnated, of course, but we are spirits, right? We decide to go to places that we are happy with. We decide to be around people that we are happy with. I'm using happy as a word, but basically we are We are happy to be with people we can interact. We are happy to be with people we can interact, and if they like the same things we do. So there is a synergy between the group, right? Because if you go to a place where we don't like the person, we don't like what the person is saying or doing, we may go there once, but we're not going to continue to keep to entertaining that kind of contact, right? Or normally we wouldn't. So for the spiritual world, it's the same. If you only think about something that is nasty all day, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get a good degree of spirits around you. We all think about nasty things eventually. But the good thing is, we think, we realize, we understand, we change that vibration. We change our thoughts, we change what we want, right? A gathering is not truly serious if it's not concerned with the worthwhile subjects to the exclusion of all of the others. If it is meant for obtaining extraordinary phenomena out of curiosity or as a pastime, the spirits who produce them may participate, but the more highly evolved ones will stay away. In other words, the character of the meeting will always determine the spirits who are disposed to attend it. A serious meeting would miss its goals if it is replaced instructions with entertainment. That's why it's very important when we are part of a mediumship meeting, a presential or a virtual, that the most important to us is to be connecting ourselves with the benefactors, praying for those that come in need, not being like, well, what's going on here? What is this medium talking about? Oh, he's talking some nonsense thing. So we are not there like an entertainment at all. If you are part of a mediumship meeting, you are there, even if it's not your time to communicate, you are there with a purpose of help. And we can always send our energy, our love, our vibration to those spirits that are in need. Physical manifestations have their usefulness, as we have stated, and those who want to observe them should participate in experimental meetings, whereas those who desire to gain understanding should attend instructional meetings. Thus, both types of participants can complete their spiritist instruction. Just as in the study of the medicine, some take coursework while others do internship. We don't have, well, in the present, I'm not aware of a place where we have physical effect meetings where we see phenomena like that. No, I'm not aware of, right? But in the recent past, we had meetings with an objective. There was to treat people that are coming asking for help. And a little bit further away in the timeline, we had meetings where you could see phenomena, and today we don't see anymore. Why is that? Because we don't need that anymore, right? Why we don't need that anymore? Because we have enough material to study if you want to. We don't need to have something physical to be able to convince people of something or to attract their attention. Not at all, you know. But if you dispose all the material you have today, and if that's not enough to you that you really need to see something physical, I'm not sure if you will. Not nowadays, because there's not many, as I said, I'm not aware of any meeting you would be able to be seeing this. Okay. Spiritist instructions does not entail only the moral teachings given by spirits, but also the study of facts. It involves the theory of the phenomena and research into their causes. And as a consequence, the evidence of what is possible and impossible. In other words, the observation of everything that may enable the science to develop. And Right now, I know that some people from the Medical Association is planning to go ahead with some trials, with some exercise, with some tests, but everything based on science. So just to give a glance of what they are getting organized to start, they would get people that are suffering cancer, and they will take a blood sample. The person will be submitted to healing for a period of time, and on the end, another sample will be taken, and they will compare both results. So this is something that could be promising, right? Hi, Munir.
Hi, Guilherme. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, just to remind us that when Kardec was attracted to spirit phenomena was through frivolous or experimental meetings. He went to see the turning tables and so on. But then immediately, because he was a serious person, he was Hivayo, not Kardec in those days, he saw more than just, entertainment. And then he started to go towards the instructive meetings. And through that, as Guilherme said, he codified the Spiritist doctrine. So we don't need to go back and start with frivolous or experimental meetings for us to get to know the laws, to get to know of the spirit world, and to get to know spiritism as such. We can already start from, the amount of knowledge that Kardec brought to us. It's just like having to go back and repeat Rutherford's experiments to learn how the structure of the atom is. Whereas nowadays, we moved so far away from that, we don't need to repeat those experiments. We already know the theories which have already expanded. So Kardec started in a meeting for the amusement with the turning tables, and then he saw more than that. So he didn't belong to that class that just saw amusement in those phenomena. He was a serious person and moved forward.
Munir, I think that today, if someone is inclined to go to this type of meeting, that may be like a wake-up call. Well, I'm going there just for, well, there's something more, so then I'll start to study, I'll try to seek more information.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no really need for it. Nothing against people that decide to use old methods, because as we know, the practice is there, is reliable, we know it exists and everything, but we don't need it anymore, right? Because as you said, we moved a bit away from that, so there's no need to go back to the tables, like, But if there is any group that doesn't mean they are not serious, but means that perhaps they don't have yet acquired the knowledge that they can move away from that. It would be erroneous to believe that such facts are limited to the extraordinary phenomena, or that those which principally touch the sense are the only ones worthy of attention. At every step of the way, we encounter important facts during intelligent communications, which persons gathered together for study should not neglect. These facts, which would be impossible to enumerate, arise from numerous fortuitous circumstances. Although less prominent, they are of no less interest for observers who find in them the confirmation of known principle or the relation of a new one, which in turn leads them to penetrate more deeply into the mysteries of the invisible world. This is also a form of philosophy. He reiterated what we have spoken here, right? Study meetings are, furthermore, quite useful for intelligent manifestation mediums, especially for those who seriously want to perfect themselves. But to do so, they must not participate with the foolish presumptions that they are infallible. We all are. We all can make mistakes, okay? As we have already stated, one of the biggest problems of practical mediumship is obsession and fascination. Thus, these mediums can be deluded in good faith as to the merit of the communications they obtain. We have come to understand that deceptive spirits find an open door when they deal with individuals who are ignorant on this subject, which is why such spirits endeavor to keep their mediums away from all supervision, and when necessary, constrain them to have an aversion for whoever might be able to enlighten them. Let me try to say that here in different words. We are human beings, right? To a certain extent, we all like to be the center of the attention. That's natural, that's human, right? We've been raised as such by our parents. When we did something, when we were very young and we did something, sometimes they give us some treat. That was a kind of recompense. Nowadays, it's no different. We want to be on the TikTok, we want to be on Instagrams, we want to have followers. Well, what is that? It's a kind of trade anyway. I did something, people like, I feel happy, right? Now, if you go to a medium, let me pick one, Pablo. Pablo is a medium, you know, he's starting now. I like to pick Pablo. He's starting now. Suddenly, he get a message from, pick one name. Let me say a different name here. J.F. Kennedy, right? Because somehow, since he was a kid, he was very much into the American politics. So when, for some reason, he saw a message signed Kennedy, ooh, that was very, very important to him. That was speaking loudly to his heart. And then he started to give a lot of attention to this. So he got one message from Kennedy, two messages from Kennedy, three messages from Kennedy. And he was very proud of it. I am the medium chosen to bring messages from Kennedy. And must be very good, huh? And sometimes, well, I'm not saying it's impossible to get a message from Kennedy. That's not what I'm saying. But we need to be very careful. We need to analyze the content of the message. We need to analyze what this message is bringing to us as a result, right? And I can go even further. Pablo started receiving messages from Jesus himself. And then he felt like, wow, I am the medium. I'm getting messages from Jesus. And that may escalate to a degree where he'll be isolated because I'm receiving messages from Jesus. I don't need to listen to anything else. Who will tell me anything better than Jesus? Of course not. I will listen to Jesus, of course. And then Munir will come. Well, Pablo, let's think about it. Why Jesus would come? Well, Pablo don't want to listen to anything. Don't want to listen to anyone. And then he will become isolated. And eventually, that could turn very badly for him. And even from the group, if the group decide to follow him. Because I'm giving Pablo as a single example, but maybe Pablo start to get 1, 2, 3, 4 messages from Jesus, and we all here on this room start to feel like, whoa, Pablo is getting a message from Jesus. And then start to give us directions, giving us instructions, what to do, what not to do. And then we all could be misled into this trap. So we need to be very careful. And one thing that's more important, don't close your doors. If someone come to you say, well, you need to revise the content of what you're getting. You need to be attentive in regards to this spirit in particular, because he's coming too often to you using this name, and the message does not match with what we know about the spirit. Don't be isolated, because I've seen this happening before, where the medium don't want to listen to anyone and decide to go away from the spirit center, and the result was not very positive. If we receive the message needs to be evaluated. Doesn't matter, even if it's from Jesus himself. We need to evaluate. We need to use reason. We need to make all those questions we always do, you know? So we need to be very careful. And when this process starts, it leads to a fascination. It may start mildly, and the degree of event may increase, and I may become fascinated. I won't listen to anyone. I won't study anymore. I won't do anything anymore. And it's a recipe for a disaster. I remember one indoctrinator who said once, I don't need to study because my benefactor knows everything. Just giving an example, I will not give much detail, but a serious and enlightened spirit will never tell you not to study. Never. Never, ever. And if you believe that, it's because you are already halfway through the hole. So study always, because the only way that we can acquire information to evaluate, to compensate, and to know better what we are doing is through this study, right? Hi, Denise.
Hi, Glenn. I just like to add about like this of not studying. I think if you know a little bit of doctrine and you know that we are here to develop moral, intellectual, so it doesn't matter if someone knows, you need to know as well. So the basic, if you just go back to the basic one, it tell you straight away that there's a red flag here because we all need our own intellectual development.
It is a red flag when we are outside.
Yeah.
I can see the red flag in all of you, but I cannot see the red flag on myself. Let me give another example here, right? For some reason, one spirit came and told me that I'm Chico Xavier and I want to give message to you. That may happen. That may be true. But I want so much to be the medium of Chico Xavier, you know, that I will not see any red flag. Any red flag. Yeah. If one day you have such a situation, maybe real, right? Because I'm not saying it's not possible. Maybe real. But you have to multiply X amount of times your degree of evaluation. You need to ask yourself many times. You need to ask other people, please check here with me. Do you think it could be possible? Do you think this? Do you think that? Yes. Never jump into conclusions that quickly. Never.
That humbleness to ask other people if it may be wrong.
Yeah. And then the first question I would ask, why you want to speak through me? What's going on there? I know that I do a lot of things wrong. So why you want to speak to me? You know, there's questions you can do, but normally when you are inside the process, it's hard to you to see. So my advice is do not shut yourself from others. Allow other people to come closer and to try to help you.
Thank you.
Hi, Camila.
I would like to make a question. It's about the topic, but not about this specific line. Uh, I understand that as a medium, we came here, we have the duty to do the job, right? Then we have these meetings, we have the reeling meetings, we have all these serious meetings. But these meetings that we do to help the spirits, I will do a very silly questions, a very silly. I would like your help, folks, to understand and improve my ignorance.
Before you say so, there is no such a thing. Every question is worthy, because behind a question that you may think is silly, you may have 3, 4, 5 different people here with the same question, and they don't have the courage to ask. And behind your question, maybe something you couldn't see yourself, and there is something interesting and important.
Yeah, I was thinking this week, right? Because the other ones, as a medium, we connect with the spirits to help the person, right? That is the courage. In these ones, okay, we are helping the spirit, right? But why the spiritual world need us incarnates to help the spirit? Why they cannot help it is since they are spirit in spirit, right? I was thinking, oh, it's more for us to develop, it's more for us to learn, it's more to help us, not the spirit.
Let's go step by step, because behind your silly question, there's a lot of important things we can talk about it. You see? So there's no silly questions. Well, to start with, when we allow a spirit to communicate through us, he or she is in contact with our fluids, with our physical matter. Okay? And you see that when I'm referring to a spirit, I'm referring to she or he. And there's a lot of people that refer to it. But my understand they are like me, so I'm not it. So I'm he, so the spirits. So when they are in contact with our physical body, they are getting in touch with the matter that they do not possess anymore. That's what we call anemic shock, right? Why they cannot be treated on the spiritual world? Because some spirits, after being discarnated, they are so dense that they are closer to us than they are closer to the benefactors, for example. Sometimes they don't even see the benefactors because there is a gap between where they are and the benefactors. So the gap, let's say, gap, benefactor, spirit, and we are here. We are closer to the spirit than the benefactor to the spirit, you see? So people believe that the spirits, the benefactors, they can do anything. And that's not true. That's why they need this partnership, right? To try to answer your question a bit in the best way, maybe. This is part of our job. You have something that the benefactors, they don't have. They need what you have to be able to help them, right? And many people believe that the spirit, as I said here, the spiritual world can do everything. They can do a lot of things, but not everything. Sometimes, in some specific activities, they even need to detach your perispirit from your body and take you in a little excursion to areas where they will use your fluid to help spirits. Themselves, they cannot do anything over there. And because we are dense, we have heavy matter, we can go over there, and then they can use your fluids to help the spirits and bring them back. So there's a lot of things. I will not go too deep into this, but they need you. And of course, the last item of what your silly question was, that's not silly at all, is that in a mediumship meeting, they learn and we learn. And happy are those that are able to learn with other people's mistakes. Because in a mediumship meeting like the one we're going to have when we finish this study here, we see people that kill themselves, commit suicide, people that did euthanasia, the good death, people that kill others, people that did something stupid, people that are very linked to the matter, to the money. We see the nature of humans in those meetings, and we see how they are suffering. So if you can learn with other people's mistakes, good for you. So you don't need to go through the same sufferings. So a mediumship meeting is a bilateral meeting that help the spirits and help ourselves. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you answered. Really, thank you.
Okay. Eu sou ali.
It was brilliant, Guilherme. I would like to, it was wonderful because I think about this and how important it is to pray when we pray, we mediums pray when we are at home, we are in the street. So, and sometimes uh, uh, um, we do some kind of couple around us when we pray, because when we know that to take care this spirit in special days of suffering spirits, the best place is in a mediumship place. And so we will now today soon. But because you said very, very well, Guilherme, that they need our food, and sometimes they need too. The ectoplasma, some mediums have more so minus ectoplasma. They need that to understand better. To when we talk to when a medium talk, they feel better, and when people talk to them, they understood better when when a medium have the opportunity to help and with his body. But this better help factors self medium have. This is, I think so. I think why is very, very important, serious mediumship. I never have been in a not serious mediumship, but I think that's why they say to us about this. So only this one, but you said so wonderful. What I don't need to say something more.
All right, good stuff. So Liz, all yours.
Hi, everybody. I also think what's important when meetings take place, whatever the meeting, if the spiritual helpers are there, it could be gospel of the home, or it could be the mediumship meeting. The helpers are committed to helping the actual activity that's taking place. However, I think they also use the energies that accumulate during these meetings and the good intentions to carry out many other activities that we're not aware about. They could also arrange to have meetings the same time as we have with the helpers, and also go out into the environment to assist others from that meeting and using that energy. Am I right?
Yep. You are right, and it does happen, right? And it's the same thing like when we make a vibration, we are making our energy available to them to use, right? So let me just mention something important. As we know that the spirits that can use your energy, it's better that we vibrate in good thoughts, we vibrate in good choices, because not all spirits are good, right? So the energy is neutral. The will is what is important. So if the will is positive, the outcome will be positive. If the will is negative, the outcome won't be positive. All right?
Yeah.
Camila, did you raise your hand or was some previous
Yeah,
time?
I,
Oh,
I,
okay.
I raised it just to say that
Okay.
your answer make a lot of sense for me now, clarify a lot. I link with the beginning of the book, this book, that is say about the phenomena and for transportation, the medium need to have some physical characteristics, right? And the spirit also needs some physical, some specific characteristics to be able to do that. Then that was the link that makes sense what you
Yeah,
explained.
let me just mention about something else that came to my mind here as well. We were speaking about our energy, our fluids, right? And the spirits, they use us as a tool to help others, right? That's what we are, a tool. But on the spiritual world, there is also different degrees of density of the spirits, right? And sometimes some spirits, they can go very deep, some spirits cannot. In a mediumship meeting is a life organisms where we have several type of spirits working together to be able to help others, right? For example, when people believe that in a mediumship meeting we only have spirits of high elevated degree and only doctors, it's not like that. It's not like that. In a mediumship meeting, we have spirits who are there to look after our security, to clean the place, to go in places where the good doctor cannot go because he's so dense. So it's like a company. In a company, we have engineers, we have draftsmen, we have electricians, we have mechanics, we have a group of different expertise working together to keep that company moving, progressing, right? A mediumship meeting is like that. Between the spiritual world and the physical world, and between the different characteristics of everyone that participates on the mediumship meeting. All right? Thanks to isolation and fascination, they can easily lead such a medium to accept everything they want them to. And one of the sad results is that the medium will leave. And if the medium will leave the group, he or she will be on his own, alone, vulnerable, more than before, and things can go badly. Things can go badly. We'll never tire of saying there is not only a pitfall in this, but also a danger. Yes, a true danger. The only way to escape it is for such a mediums to submit to supervision of disinterestedness and benevolent individuals who coolly and impartially judge the communication, and who can thus open their eyes and lead them to see what they cannot see by themselves. What time is it? Okay, we have time. A lot of people may think that what I'm going to say is blah, blah, blah. But through this study, we already learned that it's important what we do, it's important our choices, right? So I would like to also say that it's very important to do charity. I'm not talking about giving money. It's not like that. Yeah, you may give money, or you may get your money, buy food, and go on the streets to give to people that are hungry. That's a different level of charity, right? But when we do charity, and I strongly recommend mediums to do charity, we are creating a barrier, a protection to ourselves. What do you mean? Well, we know that our equals like to be close to us. Even if I am in a situation where I may be inclined to a fascination or something, do not stop to do charity. And charity could be go to an asylum, go to an orphanage, go to a hospital, go to a place to help people with your hands. If you cannot do anything like that, open your ears. There's a lot of people that want just to talk. Yes, how can I help you? Tell me your problems. Let me try to help. There are so many ways to be charitable. We don't need even to be physically there anymore. We have telephone, we have internet. We can be charitable, helping others. Sometimes 5 minutes of conversation with someone will prevent them to commit suicide. This is charity. But why I'm saying about doing charity? Because that will attract good spirits to be closer to us. As we create a routine of doing good, we create like a barrier. I'm not saying this barrier cannot be broken, but you create like a barrier, a layer of protection for yourself. So that's why we always recommend a medium to be available to do charity. Because even if something like that happens, as he's saying here in the book, some like a fascination or a certain degree of influence, you have some degree of protection as well. At least you're trying to have good spirits around you. You won't be alone. Only you and the spirit who want to fascinate you. Good spirits will be there. Good spirits will not prevent things to happen, because only you can prevent things to happen. But they will be there. But if you don't, instead of doing charity, you do bad things, they cannot be there. Because you are protecting them, you are moving them away from you. So my recommendation to mediums, to people in general, but to mediums in particular, to orientators, to indoctrinators, please do charity. This is not a religious thing. This is not a blah, blah, blah. This is to create you a degree, a layer of protection. All right? So, Camila, you had your hand, or that's just me?
Yeah, I don't know if you have time to explain, but today I listened something that happened with Chico, like because he has these physical phenomena, and when he was doing the service, he make that and the chief goes down, right? So the spirit came after he told you that he came and pushing him. So then my question is like, I think we never, okay, we do the things good. Always you have this help, but it's not like 100%, right? We need to accept it that sometimes things happens.
Yeah, let me use the example you gave. I think the name you use is one of the best reference we may have, right? But he also had a past. Let me get some words from our Indian friends. He also have karma, good and bad karma, right? So if he's on earth, he's not perfect. He have flaws today, perhaps in the past, right? What happened to him is because he's a medium of physical effects. He can feel the spirits even touching him, right? When things like that happen, could be happening because he needs to. When we start to be so proud about ourselves, we need to have a little trip down so we can, whoops, I was doing something wrong then, you know? Or he's also a way to the spirit to get closer to you. And when he gets closer to you, depending on your reaction, you will be helping the spirit. So there are so many possibilities in this event. But what is important? Because you said, oh, it's not 100% protection. No, no. You may decide to dedicate your life 100% of your time to good. But that particular day, your husband arrived at home. He was angry with something, with the work, not with you. He said something bad to you. You replied back as well. Here we go. You open a little crack in your protection, and that could be enough to one to come and to do something to you. And who on this room here can say that we are 100% of our day exempt of thinking about something bad, or say or do something bad? I cannot. I know that I do a lot of things through the day that I'm not proud of. So when we do things like that, we make things difficult to them to help us out, right? When we eat a lot, when we smoke a lot, when we drink a lot, when we use our voice in the wrong direction, we are opening breaches in our protection. So that's on you, right? But eventually, if you create breaches 10 times a day, you start to create 8 times a day, 5, 2 to 1, eventually. And that is what will increase your layers of protection, right? Not doing so, you are open to your own consequences, right? So let me just finish this sentence here, and then I'll pass to Rafael, because I can see that it's really desperate to start. Our mediums who fear this judgment already find themselves in the path of obsession. Those who believe the light has been given only to them are already completely subjugated. If they take the observation badly, if they are irritated by them and reject them, there can be no doubt as to the evil nature of the spirits who assist them. Just finalize my part here today. If you have good spirits coming to you, if you had some spirits sign important names on your message, fair enough, they can be here. They will participate in events with us. There's no reason why we should not believe is possible. It's not impossible. But if they decide to do, they need to be prepared to be getting lots of questions, because I will ask a lot. And my last thought of the day is, a good and elevated spirits have no problem at all answering your questions. On the other hand, if it's not a real good spirit, when you start making questions, he starts to feel in the corner. He may let the mask down. He may say a word. He may be irritated, and then it's when you know, yeah, something wrong. So thank you very much, everyone. And I'll pass that to Rafael.
All right, then can I go into the picture?
Thank you, Guilherme. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Right. So here we are for our moment of irradiation and vibrations. So I invite all of us to, again, close your eyes and allow yourself to be present here. Unite your thoughts so that we all can say together, thank you. Thank you to God, our loving Father, for the opportunity of being here, for dedicating this hour or these minutes every week to the reflection that will bring to us new insights, that will bring to us new perspective, to the intention that we direct from our hearts to outside, so that we have a moment to practice, to remember that the key that Jesus left for all of us to understand, to happiness, to progress, is charity. In its most pure meaning, we offer in this moment what we have, which is our thoughts, our energy, our fluids, our ideas, our little example. As we initiate from here this wave of good intentions, that we ask the good spirits, the benefactors, our companions, to carry with them and spread in a way that slowly reaches our buildings, our neighbors, our city, our continent, and envelops the world, bringing with it the compelling ideas that connect us to you, my Lord, that reminds us that we are not alone, that allows us to connect, to understand that you are by our side, always forgiving us, giving us new opportunities, reminding us that you created us with all that we need to stand up, to face the challenges, and to start now the transformation within ourselves to overcome the challenges. And for that we are grateful. Right now, many of us are here in this planet going through big challenges from a material perspective. For that is characteristic of our own doing. We ask of you, my Lord, in this moment, to direct this prayer and this intention to these groups. Many of us dealing with natural disasters, being faced with floods and flames, extreme cold and heat, losing all of our material possessions, losing loved ones. Allow this moment be a moment of comfort. Allow this wave to bring an idea of renewal that reminds us in our souls that we understand that we are going through this, but we have what it takes to come out of it renewed, stronger, better versions. We ask of you, my Lord, to envelop our brothers and sisters so that they feel your light and your love. We also ask of you to direct that healing balm to our brothers and sisters in conflicts, going through the stress, the test, and the suffering of leaving behind the consequences from the past. May this be the last time, my Lord. May we learn, may we get rid of anything that we still carry within us that put us in this situation. May the fraternal love that unites us all triumph. May the hopeful message that we carry in our day-to-day reach out to the ones that need to see and hear it. May your law of charity be a beacon of light that inspires the leaders discussing and deciding. May we start to see the change now. That will be the characteristics of our new era. We are grateful for the blessings that in this moment are spread. Thank you, my Lord, for being with us. So be it.
Well, thank you, everyone. Looking forward to see you next week. Camila, will you get into the meeting now?
Yeah. Can I speak with you before?
Yes, you can. Continue online, please.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Posso perguntar uma coisinha?
Deixa as outras pessoas saírem da sala primeiro.
Então, eu tenho que sair também, né?
Pode,
Isso.
podia ficar, não tem problema. Eu ia te perguntar se tudo bem, porque essa semana eu tive uma semana pesada. Eu limpei a casa, pus uns salmos aqui. Eu tentei fazer o possível. Você acha que tudo bem ou eu vou atrapalhar o estudo?
Não tem problema.
Devo ou não? Eu não sei se eu estou muito fortalecida para.
Não tem problema nenhum, não.
Não vai atrapalhar. Tá. Vou tentar focar bastante na observação para aprender. Acho que talvez seja melhor hoje. E na última, quando chegou no final, eu fiquei pensando sobre tudo o que aconteceu, para eu tentar aprender e me descobrir também, saber como o que eu devo fazer. No final, eu descobri que eu lembro que você falou de uma senhora, que a senhora foi embora, mas era a prece final, então é estranho, porque é como se fosse um sonho.
Não tem problema. O que eu vou te sugerir? Quando acaba a reunião, se desliga. Se desliga da reunião. Fica pensando na reunião, não.
Tá.
Fica pensando, não. Melhor coisa que você tem que fazer agora. Tá bom?
Tá. Não pensa sobre isso.
Acabou a reunião, acabou a reunião.
Tá. E depois, eu tenho que fazer alguma preparação ou não?
Não.
Acabou. Tá.
Seguir os preceitos normais.
Tá bom.
Tá bom?
Tá bom.
Então daqui a pouco a gente se encontra lá, então.
Tá. É o mesmo link.
É o mesmo link.
Tá.